So this panel is called Betting on the Future, AI Startups and Visionary Entrepreneurs. So the future obviously has something to do with this thing called artificial intelligence. You know, we've been hearing about it for a ton on these panels. It's something you just can't get away from. You know, we the last fireside chat, we're talking about AI, we're talking about, large language models. I'm going to start down at the end with Amichai. Tell me, you have been deep in machine learning, computer vision. You've been deep into military technology. Security is your main thing. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Your company, Simdal, how do I say it? Simdal or Simdal? Simdal. Yeah. So it's an AI security company, but you also build technology directly into the chip level. So maybe just kind of give people an understanding of, one, what is it and why is it important?
Absolutely. First of all, about myself, my name is Amichai, and after about more than 3 decades that I'm leading R&D, research and development in embedded system, electronics, software, cybersecurity, mostly in the Army, but also other realms. Taking all of that experience and knowledge, and I founded Simdal, where we actually take and build and lead the next generation of cyber defense, where we take AI out of the software realm and embedding it directly into the electronics of the device, making it out of the box secured, eliminating all kind of attacks that we as, attackers eventually know how to attack. And once I see you, I can attack you. And when I take AI and embedding it into the device protects itself, and the attacker that's attacking that device actually cannot see me, so the device is protected. This is, in a nutshell, what we do. And
it's interesting. We were on a call with your team, and
right.
I don't think I've ever been so nervous when there's 4, former Israeli security experts saying, we were the attackers, and now we're protecting you from the attacks. It was nerve-wracking because I watched my data get sucked out of my. But you prevent that now, and it's fantastic. Now when people. Do you do it at the system level, meaning like, you work with Dell or HP or do you do it at the individual level?
Okay. Right now, our patent or our technology can be embedded in actually any kind of hardware. It's hardware agnostic, but hardware is the enabler. So we can adopt this technology. Right now, we're doing it on an Intel card for servers, but we can do that for mobile phone, for IoT. The idea is to get to the future where, as you said before in the previous panel, we are engulfed in technology. Technology rules our life. That's in a sense. And today it's Bitcoin. Today it's the wallets, but tomorrow it's self-driving cars or self-flying cars for our grandsons. In that kind of future, where everything is AI, everything is controlled, that future, if we just patch cybersecurity on top of that, we fall very short. We need the devices to be designed for cybersecurity by design, not just be patched on, and this is what we do.
So if anybody's in the audience that knows manufacturers of the big companies, whether it's smartphones, computers, maybe you can make an introduction. I think that would be very helpful for you.
Yeah, we're here.
Okay. Michelle, you you've been working on the intersection of Web3, sustainable technologies, and now AI. How is AI impacting Verity One? Like, how are you using this technology?
Thank you. My name is Michelle Tan, and I work in Verity One. I'm a data scientist, and we now use the AI and tracking the oyster, and use oyster clean the water because global a lot of the dirty water very important. So 10,000 oyster in the oyster farm can filter the water like 50 to 130 gallon water per day. So we use the IoT and AI tracking and digitized created neutron credits, so we can trade and measurement. Yeah, our token is a oyster token. So if you want to know more details, our table, we have our fly.
Amazing.
Thank you.
I have one thing to is Rosemary still here? Where's Rosemary? Rosemary, remember you were telling me last night, I believe, about the oyster automatic flipping thing. Can you connect with these guys and make sure the oyster flipping thing and the Verity One and all this gets connected? Make sure that, okay. The whole point of this entire conference is to connect the dots with each other. And we just connected a dot live in process here. So I totally forgot about that, but they have a system that automatically flips them over, because once the oysters are kind of cleaning the water, they have to be circulated.
Yes.
And so they have an automated way of doing that, which will help you guys. So that's all perfect. Okay.
That's wonderful.
Amazing. Maria, you are doing amazing things around the world. I always see you at these, and you're always so smiling. And
Thank you, because I'm so happy with my clients, with
Yeah.
the Congress today in Cannes. Thank you, Anthony Ritosa, for
yeah,
having us
thank you, Anthony. Where is
here.
he? Is he still here or is he napping?
Thank you, Alan, for moderating these amazing panels from Dubai to Miami up to South France.
It's my pleasure.
So let's talk about AI and about the startups, right?
Let's do it. So how are you're working with some startups?
Right.
And how are they? Are they AI first startups, or are they just using AI as a tool? How are
Right.
they-
Well, because I'm on the background a private banker and a wealth manager, like a part of family office in Switzerland, working as consultant and wealth manager internationally. I have some clients in tech and AI who create startups in different fields. And I consult these clients. So the biggest client I know is 14 billion worth, is from quantum computer area. Works with US. Some clients I cannot disclose, but with US, with Europe, in quantum technologies. I find this very prospective area. The startup grow in 5 years up to 14 billion.
I was going to ask you, when do you think quantum computing will become useful?
Where it can be useful, right? Well, first, I'm also learning. I was learning what is quantum when I start consulting this client, and they say Maria is like a speed light. If you're gonna change all the areas of human. Let's say, all the areas of human businesses. For example, is like a cybersecurity area with quantum technologies is a game changer, because in this area you can have already protected, let's say, cybersecurity tools for governments or for companies, which will be totally unhackable. Then they educate me in the area of banking, which is my professional area. They told me that actually all banks, and I knew that before, but they confirmed, are hackable. All banks in the world are hackable right now. So
We all use the same encryption systems.
Actually, yes.
Literally
Actually,
everybody.
I'm like paranoid about banker. And banker, I have online banking only in one online bank. And I'm changing, it's another topic, I'm changing my credit cards after each trip.
It's not about you, it's about the entire system.
It's
Once we
entire
have
system.
true
It's old-fashioned.
quantum, it's hackable right across the
the
board.
quantum it's a game changer for this matter. It's like already like Deutsche Bank and Bank of America and different banks together with these quantum computer technologies. They start implement the tools which will lead to unhackable banking system.
There's a general consensus that quantum will be somewhat useful and may be able to do these types of large-scale hacks when it hits a million qubits. Right now,
Right.
what are we at, like 10, 15 qubits, something like that, IBM?
I'm not that technical, but
So I think we have a long way to go, but with AI designing better chips designing better AI, and
right,
so on and so
it's
forth.
like a startups which combine AI technology and quantum technology. Or, for example, very impressive startups from the clients which combine AI and cinema technologies. This is so impressive to see how my clients, because they're wealthy entrepreneurs, and they do create some startups, and they fundraise. Sometimes they invest themselves. So, for example, it's a game changer just like one little example, and then I give the microphone to my neighbor and colleague. For example, iMovies, you know, when you, the clients who do these startups, they explain me that in iMovies recently we could not, for example, create old Rome movie about old Rome, where all horses would have equal legs quantity and the windows would match. But now, through the new technologies, these AI cinema technologies, they replace, fortunately or unfortunately, cinema industry.
The interesting thing about that is this is new. I mean, up until about maybe 4 months ago, we couldn't do a context window over 5 seconds. And now you can see, 20-second things, and you can, with 20 seconds, you can start to make real videos. And one of the biggest challenges with AI in cinema and film was that you couldn't have the similar character. The characters would have a mustache in one scene and 3 ears in the other, and 6 hands and weird things, and they could never get the fingers right. It seems they've solved all that. So we're going to move over to Nidhi. Nidhi, tell us a little bit about you and what you're working on, and how AI kind of falls into it, and in what you're using this technology for, and yeah, give us a rundown.
No problem, Alan. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be on this panel and at this wonderful event. So my name is Nidhi Bakhtar, or Nidhi is my nickname. I'm founder and managing partner of Excite Capital. We are a quant fund that leverages probabilistic AI to develop a proprietary trading strategy that models and predicts markets, as well as manages risk in real time. And so, Alan, to your question, we use AI to be a future predicting fund manager. And so I say that, sounds crazy to say, but we are a non-regressive AI, meaning that we do not look at the past.
Yeah, I saw your earlier panel.
Yeah, thank you.
So okay, so let's get into some details, because you were on an earlier panel. What are the data points that you're taking into account when you're looking to predict where the markets are going? Are you like scraping X for markers, or what are the data points?
No. So a lot of AI funds would use that approach, where they'll do semantic inferencing, they'll do statistical analyses like correlations, or they'll try and beat based on speed, right? And both are a derivative of that. Those are inherently aggressive, right? So they look at past data and find trends, averages. What we do, we really look at 3 buckets of data. We look at price, volume, and time. But we do that from a vectorized approach, because we are tracking the trajectory of those 3 buckets, right? That's how what we develop is we're leveraging quantum ensembles of domain, which is a way of saying that we model a bunch of different realities, bunch of different paths that the market could take, or those 3 variables could take, and then we run some pretty good rule sets to figure out these probabilities are the ones that are relevant, the rest are irrelevant, let's ignore them, develop a mean of those realities, and that's how we execute our strategy.
And how is the performance relative to market?
Quite handsome.
So can people invest with you, or are you just a closed fund type of thing?
So it has been a closed fund, but now we just started accepting investments, and so our documentation will be available sometime next week. But we are taking limited partners now for our fund.
And like, is it one of those things you've set an amount, or are you just going to raise money because now you know if every dollar you put to work, 10 come back, or whatever that is?
Precisely the latter.
Okay. Oh, awesome. You know, I met a gentleman at Anthony's last event in Dubai, and he was dressed head to toe in the most blingy stuff I've ever seen. He looked like something out of a Miami cartoon. And I started talking to him, and he goes, "Look, we don't want anything. We don't want anything. We're closed. I came as a friend." And he's like, "I don't want anything." And the reality is, they made a thing like yours. They made an algorithm that just churns out money, and so why would they share that with anybody? Yeah. And the fact that you're able to open that up, that means a lot. So that's fantastic.
We do plan on taking it private in a handful of years once I reach 5 billion AUM. Done.
5 billion
Yes.
AUM?
Yes.
So this afternoon?
Let's do it.
All right, there you go. Wesley.
Yeah.
All right, Wesley, tell us about what you're working on and how AI relates. And is it AI native? Is it something you've tacked on? Are you using the technology? Talk to us.
Well, that's always a hard question with me, because I've
been in the space a long time, do a lot of different things. First and foremost, I'm a representative of the government of Malta for startup funding and innovation. So I actually go around the world and help build bridges to see how Malta can be part of this conversation. Beyond that, I work with a company called Technotainment, which was founded by the creator of MTV and Nickelodeon, Niall Henson. And it's tackling the whole issue that we see in the entertainment industry today, which is they're losing money hand over fist. What we're looking at, AI is part of this new emerging tech stack, which we believe the entertainment industry needs to come and emerge with. What we call technotainment is basically a new art form where media and entertainment meet technology to create a new reality, which actually will see revenues 7x on what they know today for a lot less actual cost to the consumer.
Are you talking about entertainment that will be kind of custom to the individual? Is that like some of that, like almost real time?
There will be some of that. There will be more linear things that we know today, but utilizing AI to help build community and help keep people immersed in the content that they're watching. The biggest issue that we saw in entertainment was back in 2008 when the iPhone came to play. What happened was your community changed from being in your living room sitting down next to you to being on your phone, where you started getting distracted with the sports scores or the gossip of Rita cheating with Joey in somewhere else. So what happened was each of the pieces of content we were watching, we were sort of getting a little bit distracted from it. What we also noticed was at the same time, video games were bringing the community into the game. And what we saw was the real simple pattern. Money is going down in movies, money is going up in games. And
people don't realize games make more money than sports and Hollywood together.
And the music industry.
And music, all together. All three. It is an insane thing, and there's over 3.5, well, I think it's more than 3.5 now. There's a study, was about 2 years ago, and they asked how many people identify as gamers. It was 3.5 billion people on the planet. It's a little under half of the human population identifies as a gamer. And it could be casual games, playing, some sort of, Wordle on your phone, or it could be sitting down and playing a AAA game for 16 hours a day. People do all sorts of crazy things with games.
And so this is where we're at today. And so what we're doing is we built a whole new business model, which is around including immersive content. So even from the VR stuff, which will come later down the line, but creating community around the content that gets rewarded for participating in the conversations around the content and creating additional content based on that. We call it microcasting, where you go into a very particular niche, let's just say faith and values, and as a consumer, as a viewer of that, you don't get paid to watch, because that'd just be stupid. But as you comment and be part of that community and become a champion, the more people value your contributions to the community, well, you get rewarded for that. And then you can get deeper experiences. And then we integrate commerce alongside gamification and other areas, which actually builds into this new art form, which we call technotainment. Now, we're not building a platform.
When you say technotainment, I keep thinking...
No, it is where technology and entertainment meet on this. But
let's switch positions for a second, because I want to talk about the security implications, because I know so if I'm a gamer at home, I'm playing on my computer, and if you've ever sat and watched a kid play games, they're not just playing on their computer, they've got their phone going with their friends, they've got headphones on, they're talking to a group of people here, they're yelling at people on the screen. It's a thing, it's a whole thing. But there's probably a lot of personal things that get said in there, and we trust these platforms. We trust WhatsApp to send our messages, and we trust Twitch to get these things out there. What are some of the security ramifications around the fact that we're now building games and interactive and entertainment that is both towards the user, but also taking information from the user, and how do we protect that?
Okay. First of all, AI and cybersecurity interact in so many ways. But if I take, let's say, the most critical impact that AI had on cybersecurity is on cybercrime. And when I say cybercrime, that means that not just regular stuff, but today, I'm not sure if you know, if we take cybercrime and say that it's a nation, it's a state, a nation, then you'll find that cybercrime is the three largest economic in the world, right after the United States and China. About $10 trillion in like GDP kind of way
Is this
are in
lost
cybercrime.
revenue, or is it's gained by those groups?
It's all kind of gained by these groups, and it's getting worse. Now, AI, if not until recently, this kind of attack was, in order to launch this kind of attack, you needed like an APT group of well-funded hackers sitting there and getting the money.
But now everybody
or
can
state
just
level.
vibe code
now
the
with
cyber.
An AI, it got more accessible to techniques and tactics that you don't need to be so much professional. You can be, you need to be, and you're doing a lot of mistakes, let's say, but you have in hand a weapon that you can use to launch successful, impactful attacks.
Oh, we're going to coin a phrase here: vibe hackers.
Well, about vibe hackers, they can do that. The question is, can I later, as a defender, can trace back to them? Are they going to do it clean enough? So me not taking them, that's a different question. But the attack can happen. And so the landscape of attack grew, and more people are more accessible to this kind of attacks. So actually, if we look at the future, and if we're not doing something radical in our thinking of the digital future that we see, then the fear of clicking a link in your phone or computer will become not just by losing your money or ransomware or something like that, which is impactful enough, then the next click on the next generation, our kids, our grandson, will drop a car out of the sky. And it's the future. You said it yourself. We cannot avoid it. It's going to be there. We're going to be engulfed with an eye.
Here's a pro tip. If you see a DocuSign come into your email, don't click it unless you're expecting it. I've seen a few of these pop up in my email recently. I'm like, DocuSign, what is this? I scroll and it's from DocUSign or DocVSign or DocuSign with a little apostrophe or something. Be very careful on clicking any PDFs or anything, because they're not PDFs. They're hackable things.
And this is exactly why we
Right.
funded.
That's why you guys
Sandel.
exist.
Yeah. What we look at the future, that if a device protects itself, you don't care. You just turn on the device, you see Sandel inside. You can click whatever you want.
Amazing.
That's the idea.
Michelle, we're gonna move away from security. We're gonna get back to how are you guys in leveraging machine learning? So you're measuring kind of the efficacy and able to measure what's going on with oysters, and you're pulling toxins out of the water, which is incredible, because you imagine we pump tons of nitrogen into fields and that leaches into the water and goes into our rivers and our streams, and we also have wastewater from cities and stuff. And what you guys do is you sell to a city who has to buy or has been buying credits, not carbon credits, but cleanup credits, environmental credits. And how are you kind of tying the two together with algorithms to make sure that the cities are actually doing something useful, instead of just buying a carbon credit saying, oh, fuck it, I don't care, I just bought a credit and I'm not going to do anything real anyway. This seems to be a very North American way of dealing with it.
So today, biggest
Use the mic.
problem, because today, biggest problem, a lot of industry pollute the water, like the shipping and then the airplane. So they have to clean the water, have to pay. So the ESG group have to, before it's a wave, now they have a punish, have to buy. So how you know this oyster form, how many credits? So we have to have measurement and then documented and then verify, and then they put the exchange can trade and offset.
You know, it's interesting, when I was getting kind of the explanation of all this, I was really intrigued the fact that this is a solution that's actually fixing the problem. A lot of people keep buying carbon credits saying, oh, whatever, we'll just buy some carbon credits. Who cares? We can pollute as much as we want. But you're actually removing the toxins from the water And there's so many use cases. I didn't realize this. When you take the shells of the oysters and you crush them up, you can inject those into fracking holes, and it pumps the oil out and then fills in the hole at the same time, so you don't have these underground fissures and stuff. I thought that was an incredible use of the empty shell of the
Yeah,
oysters.
so we can integration a lot of AI platform. Some have the deep learning module, and we have enforcement the module. So you did a good behavior, I reward you. You did a bad behavior, I punish you. The training the data set. So what is the good? Training the data AI very good at it. So they can feel the loyalty. Too much bias in there.
Amazing. Thank you. Maria, I have a question for you specifically.
Yes.
You get to see a bunch of different startups. You're in investment forums all the time. You're seeing panels. What are the segments, the AI segments, that are currently showing the fastest growth and the most promise for the future?
Yes, I think that the most promising for the future is the medical area. The startups in medical area are like really very strategically important for the market, and they will probably grow with the future and the quantity of them. I'm facing some incredible startups. Is like, for example, just to inspire, there are oxygen cameras for Renew Your Body. And in the US, there are some startups, founders who created some oxygen capsule which you can swallow and renew your body from inside. So it's already sellable in the US, and it's a growing technology. I mean, it's approved, it's patented, and it will go to Europe and worldwide. But it's like amazing. Different. I mean, this is more biotechnology health, but also medical startups for sure will grow. Then maybe like I think that the startups for the law and like.
I have one called, we're trying to buy legal.ai, so if
Legal?
anybody knows how to buy that for cheap, they want 3 million. We called it Lawfully Minded, and basically we trained it on 19 different types of law in 65 jurisdictions across North America. So you could say, I'm in Delaware and I want corporate law, and you type that in, and then it's a GPT wrapper, but it's incredible because we use multiple LLMs, and it's trained only on those types of laws. So when you ask it a question, it gives you an answer. And now the next phase is to train it on all the case law. So, but it's not for, everybody's trying to build the law AI for lawyers, and we're like, no, sorry, Gordon, we're building it for the individuals.
Yeah. That's very impressive.
Us people who have to pay you lawyers. Anyway,
exactly.
Sorry.
Well, yes, and of course, I think that cybersecurity and governmental topics, they will for sure be on the in the first row of AI projects, which will be in, let's say, to invest.
Nidhi, what's the most exciting thing that you've seen? Maybe you've invested in, like, you've got your platform, but like you see startups, you see things going on. What's kind of that thing that you're like, whoa, that's incredible?
So what I'm seeing more of is AI being used to orchestrate and optimize the grid, the energy grid. Right. So we actually do that in my R&D lab. It's a company called CrowdPoint. So I'm co-founder, president of that. That was the first company we did. And so I'll give you an example. We're working with some folks here in Europe that are deploying SMRs, small modular reactors.
We're building one in Toronto.
Oh, beautiful. And so they have a site, and the SMR developer has the idea that they can use a off-the-shelf, run-of-the-mill simulator to see what the impact of the SMR would be on the grid or like on its related data center. Problem is that that's a static approach, right? What they need, and hopefully I'll sign the contract, the service agreement with them. But what they need is a dynamic model, right? Because when you put in the SMR, I mean, it's like 10,000 feeds of data that you have to put in to simulate and with accuracy over time what the impact of that SMR is going to be. And so for us,
You're going to need to take 10% of your SMR power and put it into a data center just to run the AI for the SMR.
The answer is yes. They absolutely have to, right? Because I'll give you an example. Microsoft did this with a nuclear reactor site that they bought. I forgot how many gigawatts it was producing, and then the utility company says, no, you're not bringing that huge surge of power on our lines. You're going to blow our lines. And so what do they have to do? They had to move the data center closer on edge in order to, really suck up a lot of the excess power and then use the lines. So.
There's some interesting technologies coming along with kind of long-term storage battery solutions with, taking extra power and, heating sand. There's one, there's gravity batteries. There's ones where they put huge tanks and they fill them with air and then they use the pressure in reverse when, on downtime. So it's incredible. And all AI needs to be there to kind of manage all of that because we can't possibly fathom the amount of data. We're running a little bit behind, so I'm going to pass it over to Wes. Let's take us home here. We got technotainment, but what are you seeing in entertainment where AI is kind of really irreplaceable? What is that one thing where AI is like God? It has to have it, or it's not going to work.
Well, first and foremost, I see there's going to be a massive growth in entertainment over the next 5 years. When you take a look at the Future of Jobs report...
Yes, because they won't have jobs.
Exactly. Future of Jobs report says at least a billion jobs will be gone by 2030. That's around the corner. That will be the knowledge industries. That'll be the lawyers, the doctors, the accountants. Everything our parents told us to be when we were growing up is disappearing. What happens?
My mom never told me to be a management consultant, but I
See?
think that's going to be a thing to go.
Oh, well, funnily enough, management actually will be there, but talent management. If you take a look at the Future of Jobs report, it actually put creative thinkers at the 5th place after like quantum engineers and AI engineers and stuff. And then the 7th position was talent management. So yes, there still will be a need for negotiators and lawyers, so you're good, Gordon. No, but
Listen, man, I'll accelerate my AI. I'll focus on crypto. Don't mess with me.
Listen, his talent management is managing the agent AI.
no, but
We're all fearing this whole thing because we don't know what's going to happen.
No, and that's the thing. We don't know what's going to happen. And when you do take a look, like when you speak to the founders of OpenAI, they talk about a bleak future. Like the guys, not Sam Altman, the other guys.
I know.
They talk about a very bleak future. We also can see a possible amazing future. With time on our hands, we could see a renaissance come to pass. We could see people spending their time creating amazing music, amazing art, film, TV shows. I was on a panel in Malta yesterday for the Mediterranean Film Festival, and we were literally talking about AI in the film industry. I had 4 amazing panelists, and all of them just said, guys, we can't escape AI. This is not something that's going to go away. This is not something that's...
You cannot put the genie back in the box.
So what we do is we harness it. How can we make more amazing things? We at Technotainment, we're doing interactive AI films at the moment.
I love it.
We're trying to experiment on how to increase the process, give the tools to young people. In fact, part of our area is actually retraining Hollywood to use these tools because they have the language, and that language is going to be key.
Amazing.
So
Amazing.
It's all about finding a good future for the use of these things because there could be some hard times ahead.
Agreed. Well, thank you very much. I actually run... Oh, sorry, Hadi, go ahead. Okay. I run an AI mastermind group called Brain Juice. We've been meeting every week for the last 3 years, every Monday night. And we have some Hollywood directors. The guy who directed the last 5 Saw movies is there. And we have the, Saul Rashidi. She was the first chief AI officer of IBM. And so a bunch of heavy hitters meet every Monday. And it started off, we were talking about, hey, look at this new tool. And we'd do some demos. And we still have a little bit of that. But now it's more like it's transitioned to, oh crap, like these technologies are now starting to really get to the point where they're going to replace people. What do we do? And it's become less of a how cool this stuff is, and it's more a conversation of how it will impact society. So thank you to our esteemed panel. Give a round of applause, and then we'll just take Hadi's question. Just blurt it out. I'll repeat it. Go ahead. Here.
Amshel, we all talk about cyber attacks,
cyber technology, cyber security, and Israel is very famous for that. We work very closely with Sangia, Avi Golan. I'm sure you know him. Okay, so I visited their offices in Israel, in Tel Aviv. We brought them in Bahrain. We used their systems in government and bankings and so many places. But I just wonder, is, with all this technology, AI and cyber technology, can you invent, maybe with this big company, something to stop attack, killing a human being, destruction? You know, in the 12 days which is gone, Israel, Gaza, Iran, a lot of killing and destruction. That's much better than just looking at the financial institution. Please, I want a
I
comment.
will answer you in. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you now. Go ahead. Maybe
Yeah.
a little louder on his mic there. Yeah, it's okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. I can answer you that in one word, and this one word is education, not technology, not AI.
You know,
not
education.
nothing, but education. If we educate our kids that the next generation should live in peace with each other, forget every past, live in peace and understand each other, because myself and my neighbor Arab in Gaza or wherever, we are more close together than anyone else here in the room in terms of everything. And if we educate our next generation to live in peace, we will live in peace. But we need all the other things to leave us alone. And I don't want to make this a political discussion. This is one word, education, and this is why I believe in. Not technology.
There is sophistication without education at the moment.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I like that.
Well, thank you. That is a fantastic way to end this panel. Thank you, Hadi, for your question. Education is the way to peace and prosperity for the world.
Fantastic panel.